One Tucson organization has just a few weeks to find a new place to shelter migrants who are seeking asylum. One place that's been proposed is a juvenile detention center. We headed down to Tucson to find out what the next steps are and where the organization could end up.
We're on borrowed time, but we've built a spirit and a community and an organization, a program that is a light, I think, for the community and I think the country, really.
That program is Casa Alitas, which has been operating for about 6 months now inside of Tucson's historic Benedictine monastery. It's been on loan from a private developer who allowed Catholic Community Services to use the property to host transitioning migrants after seeking asylum. But the time to look for a new location has come.
The Catholic Community Services, through the bishop, has made a request of Pima County to use vacant former juvenile facilities. What's being proposed is to turn over 3 units to Catholic Community Services to continue to operate their central shelter and processing facility.
Chuck Huckleberry is the Pima County administrator who says while optics may look bad, the Pima County Juvenile Detention Center is not to be confused with an adult jail.
There's night and day difference. This facility looks a lot like a college dormitory. It doesn't have locks on the doors. It will be operated really 24/7, 365 days a year. It will have amenities dealing with just TVs and lounges, and so it is the furthest thing from a jail.
As of now, local elected officials in Tucson say the Juvenile Detention Center is one of the best options to house migrants.
The alternative, if we don't have this facility, is street releases.
Kozaczyk believes a juvenile detention center is the last thing a person seeking asylum will care about.
Anybody who is pushing back against our use of that facility has to understand that that young mom, number one, doesn't know, and number two, doesn't care what that was used for 5 years ago. All she knows is that she's going to be welcomed and received there with open arms by this community.
As migrants continue to come through areas like Tucson, volunteers say they will continue to lend a hand.
I want to leave that message to whoever I encounter here, that there are people in the U.S. that really want and care about what happens to them, and that we're really welcoming them.
And while Casa Alitas is on borrowed time at the monastery, Diego Lopez says the work continues inside the proposed juvenile detention center and beyond.
We can see shelters open up in old warehouses. We've seen shelters open up in old courthouses. We've seen all these shelters being opened up in places, in an old church that's pre-World War II. Opening up in places that weren't meant to be taking care of people. And we have to take the opportunity of finding all of us and recognizing as a country that these shelters need to exist and need to have homes that are capable of helping these families.
The decision to approve the use of the Pima County Juvenile Detention Center will come to a vote on August 6th. If approved, Casa Alitas can start moving in that same day.